Let's explore some of the correlations that researchers found between people who frequently meditate and different elements of their psychological and physical health. We know that people who meditate report less stress and less pain. Now, that does not mean that they have less reasons to be stressed. Their subjective experience of stress and pain are lower, perhaps because they're able to separate themselves out from the thing that they're experiencing, or because they're able to control their response. They're able to control their emotions or their thoughts, and therefore their experience of these things is reduced. Reduced anxiety, again, not because people have less stuff to worry about, but because they're better able to control that experience. We know people report higher immune system functioning, less heart disease, fewer episodes of depression, less substance abuse, more self-awareness. Additionally, people report greater alertness and self-esteem, which makes sense because if you're able to show up in the world the way that you want to, you have a greater sense of self and a greater sense of confidence within yourself. People report being more in control of their life and their life experiences. They spend more time savoring the moment. They report better quality of relationships and more support from the relationships that they have. They report greater cognitive flexibility and skills when it comes to their mind. They're more empathetic, more self-regulated, and even more compassionate. Of course, these are all correlations. We don't know if people who are more self-regulated therefore want to practice meditation more often. Or is it that people who have higher self-esteem are more likely to try on something as difficult as meditation? Remember, correlation does not equal causation. However, we can look to explore the fact that there are relationships between these things. Here are a few other examples of interesting things that correlate with frequent meditation. According to neuroscientist Richard Davidson, he has found that experienced meditators exhibit higher levels of gamma brainwave activity, an ability that continues even after the meditation is over. Gamma brainwaves have been associated with many things. In particular, research has shown that a gamma brainwave is what is present in that moment when a person has an aha moment, that moment where something just clicks and you go, I've got it. They have found that that is associated with a very high frequency brain wave, as opposed to something like a delta brainwave frequency, which is really slow, an alpha brainwave frequency, which is faster, beta brainwaves, which are even faster. Gamma brainwaves are a very rapid form of brainwave activity that we still know very little about. However, we know that experienced meditators have a disproportionately larger amount of gamma brainwave activities, which means they may be less likely to get stuck in a particular stimulus, thought pattern, or way of being. That means they might also be better able to regulate their thoughts and their reactiveness, which means meditators might have more resilient brains. We do know that meditators also have denser brains. A 2005 study found that people who meditated a mere 40 minutes a day, as they referred to it, although 40 minutes a day in my book is not just mere, it's quite a lot, showed that they had thicker cortical walls than non-meditators. Having greater cortical thickness means that your brain is likely to age at a slower rate. This also indicates that they might have greater access to things like decision making, attention, and memory, simply because they have denser, thicker brains. Remember that when it comes to neuroplasticity, whatever behaviors we repeat cause our brain to make physiological changes, which means those neurons that are firing together will start to grow patterns that will make them even more likely to repeat. And we can see this in terms of those dendrites growing and spurring in the direction of the behaviors we create. So we know that people can actually physiologically change the structure of their brain, slow cognitive decline, when they are practicing things like meditation. Some questions for you to consider. How can you use the science of meditation to encourage people to practice it? And what else might meditation practice correlate with, and why?